Ladies and gents, welcome to Next Level Radio. I am your host, Colby Wortman, and our mission is to tackle the biggest questions in strength and conditioning, business, investing, and everything in between. We bring to you the best people in every sector so that you, the listener, can benefit and learn from the best in the biz. Whether that is S&C or business, you can rest assured you're getting the best knowledge available. Hey team, let's talk about leveling up your coaching and fitness game. Imagine if you had a tech sidekick that was like the Swiss Army knife of training tools. Well, guess what? Team Builder is that sidekick, and it's like having the Einstein of software and the Michael Jordan of support staff all rolled into one. I've been in the Team Builder locker room for nearly a decade, and let me tell you, they have a PhD in athletes and customer service. Whether you're a coach or a fitness enthusiast, Team Builder is your ticket to the big leagues. So sprint, don't jog, over to teambuilder.com and slam dunk that code NLT at checkout for a discount that's sweeter than a victory lap. We thank Team Builder for being a premium sponsor of Next Level Radio. All right, folks, let's talk about the big 30, 30 years old. You know when your warranty starts to expire and you realize your body's check engine light is on more than your car's? That's when I decided to pop the hood on my health because as a hybrid athlete and a father, I've got more miles on me than a secondhand scooter. I've gone from back pain so bad I couldn't sneeze without yelping to running marathons like I'm being chased by a swarm of bees. And who do you think I have to thank? The doctors and wizards at Dakota Stem Cell Institute. They're like the pit crew for your spine nestled in the heart of Rapid City, South Dakota. So if you're tired of feeling like an antique sofa every time you bend over, give Dr. Pierce a ring at 605-342-8348. Tell him you want the Next Level Radio tune-up. Trust me, it's the best call you'll ever make. Having trained athletes for many, many years, we have tried every treadmill known to man. You name it, we've tried it. With these treadmills, there's always been a disconnect, something missing for our athletic performance, something that just does not correlate to athletic success on the field until we tried our True Form runners. True Form for over 10 years has been elevating the performance of pro athletes, college athletes, recreational runners, and everyday athletes alike. You can check out Trueform treadmills at trueformrunner.com, and we thank Trueform for being an exclusive sponsor of Next Level Radio. Our next sponsor, Nutridyne, a medical supplement company aimed at enhancing performance and addressing the underlying issues of disease. You will be hard-pressed to find the quality that you'll find at Nutridyne. Listeners of this podcast get 20% off all supplements. Just go to @coach_Wortman and click the Nutridyne link in our bio. Keep up with us on Instagram @coach_Wortman, on our website, nl-training.com, or keep up with us on the next episode of Next Level Radio. Now sit back, relax, and take in the mind-melting knowledge of this episode. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the United States of America, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, Next Level Radio. We had an amazing experience in Puerto Rico, and I thank God for the opportunity. I thank God for everything. And this podcast is Solo Dolo with your boy, Coach Wortman, and we are going over the entire experience of Jake Paul versus Ryan the Rhino Bourland. And this is off the cuff. We don't do any scripts. We don't do anything here at Next Level Radio. In the early years of Next Level Radio, we did. And now we found that the flow and the conversation and the content is 100 times better without scripts. And so that's what we do, and that's what we're going to do here today. And so for many of you guys that know and tuned into the pay-per-view and supported and sent texts and kept up and did all these things, we had the opportunity to fly out to Puerto Rico, get to have that whole experience, and fight on the biggest stage of the world in boxing. And so we're going to give you the origin story from bottom to top, and it's a really, really cool story. So originally, I was getting ready to do the half marathon at the Mater Trail Race. And I had heard of Ryan the Rhino Bourland. Him and I had the same chiropractor, Dr. Sam Bazan. And just heard of him and knew that he was a great athlete and he did really cool things. Well, one day I was driving out to my in-laws' house and I saw two crazy bastards running very long distances. They had camelbacks on, they had all these things on. I was like, man, those guys are doing some work. Didn't know it was Ryan at the time. Fast forward, we go to the Mater Trail Race. And at the Mater Trail Race, I was running the half, he was running the 58 miler. And after the race, we met up. The guy pushed me. It was a great run, right? Well, we conclude the race, and I was like, man, I got to reach out to this guy. This guy's crazy. He just ran a 58-mile race. Like, this guy is crazy. Let's see what happens here. So I reach out to him, and I was like, Ryan, I would love to have you on my podcast. We usually do a lift, and then we go for a run, and then we shoot the shit on the podcast. And he was all about it. Podcasting is not his thing. However, he was all about it. He saw the dedication. He saw the similarities. He saw all that. And so we had the podcast. Podcast went well. We did really cool things. Fast forward 6 months and we had zero communication. We hadn't talked. We hadn't communicated. We hadn't done anything. And one day I get a text from Ryan Bourland and it says, hey, can I call you? And that's out of the norm. It wasn't out of the norm. We weren't somebody that talked and communicated every day. And he called me. He's like, yo, bro, I got a boxing fight coming up. I want you to be my strength coach. And I was like, dude, sweet. Let's do it. We'll figure out pricing. We'll figure out all this stuff, right? All the logistics that comes along with training. And he's like, no, man, this is pretty big. And I had no concept of the magnitude of how big it was going to be. And he's like, bro, it's between me and one other guy, and I'm getting ready to fight Jake Paul. And after I picked up my jaw off the ground and called my wife over because she heard it on speakerphone, I said, let's roll. And from that point on, my life changed completely. And it's such a cool focal point because I was going through very tough times at that time. Behind the scenes that we've talked about personally, and it was a really, really cool moment. Well, the planning started that day. I grabbed a whiteboard and I started going hard. What are the rounds? What are the duration? What's the rest? What's the elevation? What's the nutrition we need? What weight is the fight at? X, Y, and Z, and mapping everything out as I could. So we go through that era. And then it's time to rock and roll. We're waiting for him to close on his house. We're waiting for training camp to start, and we got all the logistics out of the way. And for people that want to armchair quarterback and talk about their high school days, good for you. But we're here talking in the present and the future, trying to do big things there. And so before I lay out all of this, I want to talk about the start of training camp. Ryan the Rhino Bourland was retired for 5 years prior to this fight. Ryan the Rhino Bourland fought 2 weight classes lighter than the 200-pound weight class that we were in for the Jake Paul fight. Okay, so our back is already against the wall. The work is already cut out for us. So this is a fight you can't not take, right? It's crazy big. So having said that, we get to training camp, and this is Ryan the Rhino Bourland's training camp schedule. Monday. Anytime I say strength training is a 2-hour session going through everything. Anytime I say sparring, it's over a 2-hour sparring session. And anytime I say 8 to 10 mile run, it's an 8 to 10 mile run. So Monday, strength training, sparring, 8 to 10 mile run, sauna, cold plunge. Tuesday, same exact thing, strength, sparring, 8 to 10 mile run, sauna, cold plunge. Wednesday, mobility, flexibility, yoga, working on his weaknesses, massage, chiropractic, 8 to 10 mile run. Thursday, strength, sparring, 8 to 10 mile run, sauna, cold plunge. Friday, strength training, sparring, 8 to 10 mile run, sauna, cold plunge. Saturday, 8 to 10 mile run, and relax. So this training camp is just outrageous, guys. It's unlike anything else, and it was getting us ready for the fight. And we did absolutely everything, right? We left nothing up to chance. And as we went about this training camp, things came up, and it was one of the best training camps we could have had. And so when people talk about looking from the outside in, you don't have any idea what the hell you're talking about. Keep talking about your high school days. Keep drinking your beer. Keep eating your pizza, and we'll do the big things on our end. And so we go through training camp, and it is the week of the fight. And so we leave Tuesday, and we fly into Puerto Rico on Wednesday, my wife and I. And it was such a cool experience, guys. We get to Puerto Rico, and we have Airbnb troubles, and then we have hotel troubles, and then we finally got our hotel. But the first day we get there, we have an open workout. And this is where the magnitude of this fight starts to really come into play, and I understand it from a visual level and a personal level. We get ready for the open workout. They have personal people, the whole media company following us, mic'd up, following us, doing everything. And Rhino, they go train. We are there dealing with our hotel troubles. And then it was a great day. It was just a great day. And every single day as we got closer to the fight, Rhino was ready. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, ready to battle, ready to go to war. And then Thursday comes along, and this is when we have our press conference. And the press conference is, again, the magnitude is great. The press conference, we go and everywhere we go, we have private drivers. Private drivers drive us to dinner. They drive us to coffee. They drive us to press conference. They pick us up. They drop us off, and it's a really cool deal. And we're all staying at the same hotel there, and then we're staying at a hotel just down the road. And the press conference, guys, I hope to put pictures and videos in this podcast here. And you as a coach, I've never had this experience before, so this is new to me, and hopefully not the first and the last time that I ever get to do it. And the amount of work we put into this point was all coming to a climax. Rhino lost a ton of weight. He gained a ton of muscle, became more explosive, became more reactive, was doing all these things, and it was super cool to see because there's no better people than Ryan, man. He's such a good damn dude. And so we get to the press conference, and there's TV screens that you've never seen before. The size, the magnitude, as big as a football field end zone. And being a coach, you get to see the behind the scenes. You get to see the A-listers, the aerials from UFC, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, the family, everybody. And you're all in the mix of things. And people are like, oh, did you get to talk to Jake? Did you talk to Logan? All these people? Yes. And this is right when you started to see that this is all about business. This is all about money, okay? And the Hollywood behind it, the script behind it, all this stuff, building the hype is real. And I'll tell you, after the fight, they're just people, man. They're just people. They're people with cameras and money, and they're just people. And the press conference was great. As you'll see, Rhino is a very simple man. He's not going to talk his shit. He's even kill. He's ready for war. And it's a testament to the person that he is. And so we have the press conference. We're in the behind the scenes, and then we head home for the night, and we have dinner with the team. And the coolest thing about this whole thing, guys, is we had probably about 40 deep. 40 people traveled to Puerto Rico to support and cheer on and just be there for this insurmountable moment. And so that was really cool. And what I'll tell you, the coolest thing in life has always revolved around people. Got to meet some of the coolest people in the world. Kerry the Cup Man, Mario the boxing coach, Ryan, his family, Brittany's family. Everybody's family was amazing. And so we got to have this bond and this dinners and all this time together. And then after that night, we go to bed. And during all this time, I'm right in the middle of marathon prep. And right in the middle of marathon prep is tough. But running in Puerto Rico is not tough because it's at sea level. It's awesome. And the thing I'll say about this, guys, is this is just the sneak peek. We have our documentary coming out this weekend. So today's March 8th. It should be out the 9th or the 10th. But we have the whole documentary coming out, the behind-the-scenes footage, everything that you could ever imagine, the body work, the massage, the breath work, the training, the behind-the-scenes, the press conference, the weigh-in, the shit talk, everything. And it's super cool to see, man, because it's the experience of a lifetime. And so the next day is Friday, and it starts flying by. And for people that don't know, that haven't been in this situation before in any type of boxing that's televised, you're going to have your untelevised official weigh-in in the morning, so the athletes can replenish and eat and get ready for the following day. And then you'll have the televised weigh-in that takes place later that night. And so Friday morning, Amanda Serrano, Nina Mankey, Juana Walton, Rhino, Jake, everybody were there for the official weigh-in. And Jake, being the strong, big person he is, he had to cut down for this fight to get to 200, and he barely made it. He weighed in at 199.8 for a 200-pound cutoff. And Rhino came in at 197 something. And it's tough because he's giving up so much weight to get there, but that's what it is. And so the official weigh-in happens, the doctor's checks, all this stuff, the TV crews, everything. I get my bracelet to go be the corner man, and it's way less Hollywood at the official weigh-in. There's no cameras, or there's limited cameras, so it really doesn't matter. But questions that people have is during the televised weigh-in, do they actually weigh the weight that they were in the morning? And the answer is no. Whatever they weigh in the morning, they don't show the scale on camera, and that's what they weigh, is what they weighed from the morning. They're probably 20 pounds heavier, 15 pounds heavier. And so we go through the official weigh-in, and then it's the televised weigh-in. And the press conference, guys, it was earlier in the week, not as many people there. The media's there, the Barstool guys, the Better guys, Johnny DeDulius, everybody's there. And then you get to the actual televised weigh-in. And the televised weigh-in was massive. There's thousands of people. The arena's full. The T-Mobile outdoor arena is what it is, I think, in San Juan there. And it's crazy, crazy big. And this is when they do the official the televised weigh-in, the face-off, all that cool stuff. And we're behind the scenes again, which is really, really cool. But this is where you get to see all the fighters for where they're at naturally in weight, and they're replenished, and they're feeling a lot better, and they're ready to rock and roll. But the theatrics are there, the Hollywood's there, the shit talk is there. And throughout this time, we knew that it was a business, but we didn't know that after the fight that they would be very cordial and respectful and great people. And so at the official weigh-in, again, Rhino in 197 and Jake at 199.8, made it by 0.2. It was a really cool experience. Thousands of people, A-listers, everybody you could think of. High school kids from Michigan. I was standing behind, some high school kids from Michigan were standing behind me and my wife, asking me just wild questions. And at that time, you understand just a sliver of the magnitude that this fight is going to be, and the sliver of the magnitude how big Amanda Serrano and Jake Paul are in this country. And it was such an amazing experience, guys. And then it's fight day, and it kind of creeps up on you quicker than you think, and you try to slow everything down and enjoy the moment and be present, and it's very hard. And that's something that I've always struggled with as is. And so it's very hard to really just be in the moment. But the day before and the day of, Rhino and I go through some body work, make sure his body's right, ready to go. The hydration protocol that we had him on is every single day leading up to, we need to have 2 elements, which is sodium, potassium, magnesium. And then day of, we hit him with 1, get him some water, get him some electrolytes, get him some food, and we go from there.
The best tech and training, the best software, and the best people in the game. TeamBuildr is the one way to elevate your coaching and training game. Having used TeamBuildr for almost a decade, I can confidently say Team Builder is one of the best options for coaches or fitness enthusiasts. Go to teambuilder.com and use code NLT at checkout for a discount, and we thank Team Builder for being a premium sponsor of Next Level Radio. Once I hit 30, I decided it was time to take a look under the hood and start optimizing my health and performance. Being a hybrid athlete can take a toll on the body, and health optimization is of utmost importance. From personal experience having debilitating back pain, not being able to train or run, to being in the thick of marathon training, Dakota Stem Cell Institute saved my life. Centrally located in Rapid City, South Dakota, you can get advanced functional medicine close to home. Contact Dr. Pierce at 605-342-8348, and we thank you for being a sponsor of Next Level Radio.
And so day of is where everything really needs to be dialed, but everything was dialed leading up to. The nutrition for Rhino was very specific. We needed to put some good weight on him without slowing him down. And so we had him on a high protein, moderate carb diet, making sure he was really getting the amino acids profiles that he needed to put on good power and strength without adding massive amounts of body weight. And so we had him on that moderate carb. And then leading up to, he had to make sure he was just underweight. And so we just moderated everything. But after the weigh-in, it's really time to replenish. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure you have the electrolytes first. If you don't have those, it's going to get ugly. Get your electrolytes in, but then it's time to replenish your glycogen storage in your muscle and your liver. And so it's time to really, really ramp up those carbs. So we ramp up the carbs, we keep the protein, and we don't eliminate fat, but we really keep it very, very low. And so now we're hydrated, now we're replenished, and now it's time for body work. And so during this whole time, we're staying at the S&J Marriott. Beautiful, beautiful place. It would have cost $4,000 to $5,000 to stay there if we had to pay. And that's a testament to MVP, dude. Most valuable promotions, mark my words, will be the superior promotion in boxing around the world. And so with our body work, what we start with and finish with is a Wim Hof breathing method. So it's 3 rounds of 30 breaths, 30 inhales, 30 exhales. On the last inhale, you hold your breath as long as you can. On the last exhale, you hold your breath as long as you can, and you repeat twice, 2 more times. And so we start with breath work, which helps reoxygenate the blood. Make sure that you are increasing the amount of oxygen throughout your blood and really calming down the central nervous system. And it gets you ready for what we're trying to do. And then it's time for the body work, the massage, the range of motion training, activation training, making sure everything's feeling great. And from jet lag, from training, from doing all these things, stuff gets tight. And so we're doing a ton of foam rolling. We're doing a ton of lacrosse balls work. And then we're doing a lot of body work, making sure the shoulders can get into internal, external rotation freely without any restrictions, making sure the trunk is activated and on and flexible, making sure that we can make the shots and take the shots that we know that we're going to have. And then we finish with more breathing. And throughout all this, Rhino has been amazing. He's like a sponge, man. He wanted to learn, he wanted to do everything he could for this moment. And I applaud him for that. And so the day of the fight, man, it's all a blur. It's our private driver, again, that takes us everywhere is picking us up at 7. And the funny thing is, man, you feel like a celebrity. Like you feel like an absolute celebrity. You have private drivers and blacked out Escalades and Lincolns picking you up, being nice, taking you here, taking you there. And then you find out very quickly that there's levels to this game. And that for the press conference, the interviews, the weigh-ins, that Jake Paul flies in on a helicopter, which is so cool because that's capitalism at its heart. And I applaud Jake for everything that he does, man. He just officially announced that he's going to fight Mike Tyson, and so it's really, really cool to see. So the driver, after doing some body work, getting our head right, getting Rhino's head right, I knew the one most important thing to this fight was going to hinge on this next statement. Rhino has fought
I'll say that again. The most important thing is going to hinge on this next statement. I knew that Rhino had fought on big stages, but nothing like this. And I've never been a part of this. We've sold out the BAC before, and it's nothing like this. And so I knew that we needed to get acclimated and exposed to the size and magnitude of this fight, the crowd, the sound, the noise, the lights, the cameras. And so when we first walked into the ring, we requested that we could go out there, expose ourselves, let Rhino see it, absorb it, and accept it, that this is what we're here to do, so that hopefully he can get this adrenaline spike there, which will lessen the adrenaline spike coming out of the tunnel. You can't completely take it out. There's no way. And so we went out to the arena when there was fights going on, get exposed, feel it, absorb it, understand it, breathe through it, and be able to understand like this is the stage that we're on. So we could have an adrenaline spike and then just calm down, get ready for the fight. So then we head back to the locker room, and we had a pleasure of being with Torres, who was fighting Juana Walton, and he's an absolute dog. He's a gentleman. He's working a 9-to-5 job, training early in the morning, training late at night, and expecting his first kid. And he took it to Juana Walton. He came out on a draw. Some people said Juana, some people said Torres, but it was a battle as it is, and it was really cool to see somebody that is just like you and me, working a 9-to-5, having their kid, taking care of life, and doing the things they need to do to be a badass. And so Torres, shout out to you, brother. And then it's time for us, and we're warming up. We got the gloves done, we got the wraps done, and everything. And we hear rumors circulating, and then security comes in and tells us that we're now instead of the co-main event, because they split the main event into two, instead of having a main event and just the undercard, there was two co-main events: Jake Paul, Rhino the Ryan Bourland, Nina Menke, Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano, being the celebrity she is, the amazing boxer she is, had a medical issue where she couldn't get cleared because of a detached cornea in her eye. Without getting into the details, it is what it is. And so they had to forfeit that fight, and now we are the main event. And the security comes and tell us that, the team, with Rhino not there, and he's just warming up. And we didn't want to tell him right off the bat because we didn't want to change his mindset. But we found out very quickly. And so as we're getting ready, it's this weird, eerie silence. And you don't know what to do with it, and you feel uncomfortable in it. And it's just what you have to accept. And so we get ready to walk out, and exposing yourself to the stimulus first, to the arena, is the idea of really stopping that adrenaline dump, but there's no way around it. I've played high-level college football. I've been to the NCAA wrestling national championships. I've been to big-time college football games, Alabama versus Utah. And there's nothing like this, guys. There's nothing like this. Walking out of a tunnel in front of 24,000 people with millions of people watching at home, there's nothing like it. And the crazy part is, guys, was it the outcome of the performance we wanted? No. However, you can't shake Ryan. You can't shake him. At least he didn't show it. You can't shake him. He was even kill. He was ready. He was there for war. And I was on camera, obviously, on the pay-per-view, and you could see me on national TV. And luckily, they only showed me from the waist up, because from the waist down, my legs were quivering. My legs were shaking. And you know when a wrestler warms up, they kind of bob and weave, and they bounce their feet back and forth. It's almost like a little skip. I had to do that so you couldn't see that my legs were shaking. I'd never been in a corner. I'd never done any of the stuff. I got to get the water in there first, get the stool in, shove it in, sit it up. I got to get the water, give it to Rhino. I got to get the ice bag, put it on his back, and make sure everything's good. I got to remind him, breathe, breathe, breathe. As Coach Mario is giving him the statistics, Coach Mario give him the breakdown, like, hey, this is open, this is not. You need to do this. You're not doing this. And so we get into the ring, and what I'll tell you right now, guys, is the lights, the camera, the action is real. And this is a testament to Jake Paul, right? And what they do at MVP and DAZN and all this. Well, people that don't like Jake Paul are not going to buy a $200 to $1,000 ticket to watch him fight.
They're going to watch him online, hopefully wanting to watch him get knocked out, which obviously didn't happen. But that arena is full of Jake Paul supporters. And when Jake Paul walked out of that arena onto the main floor event, it was the loudest sound that I've ever heard in my entire life. The support for him was amazing. And I think the cool things that he's doing for boxing is second to none. Love him, hate him, he's a human, right? And so I applaud Jake. I applaud his team. I applaud Coach Larry Wade. I applaud their boxing coach. They're human and they're doing big ass things for boxing. So love them or hate them, right? But I saw the human side behind it. And that was the loudest noise I've ever heard. And they walk out, we have the fight, and the rest is history. There's a difference between having the outcome that you want, which is a win, right? A win or a loss. It's black or white. The outcome is a win or a loss. But to have the performance that you want, you can still not have the outcome. We can still lose and have the performance that we wanted. That was inhibited. Does it change the outcome of the fight? We don't know. Am I biased? Yes. However, I'll tell you a little story that makes it feel better. Rhino ended up losing in the first round. And we, as a team, thought they called it early. We thought they called it early. I watched the replay, and I watched it in slow-mo, and I watched it very, very closely. The ref called the fight early, and I thought I was just biased about that. But watching it back, the ref called it, and then Rhino hit his knee. And so technically when a fighter hits the knee, he needs his 10 seconds, but the ref called it early. And the reason I say that, Rhino came back to the corner completely coherent. Well, after the fight, the nerves are gone, and I've never had a wave of physical and emotional just being exhausted like I did after that fight. Everything came back, man. Rhino spent 130 hours with me over an 8 to 9 week period. The time invested, the energy, the physical energy, the emotional energy, the time behind the scenes, the programming, the nutrition, the supplementation, everything. And it just hit me like a wave, man. Like I couldn't even keep my eyes open, and I was drowsy and I was tired, and I was just physically and emotionally and mentally exhausted. And we get out of there, and the promotion comes over, Jake's team, everybody's talking, and this is what made us feel a lot better. Even the promotion knew that the ref called it early. So that makes us feel a lot better. Does it change the outcome of the fight? I'm not going to say 100% or yes or no, but you never know, right? So it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And the cool thing, though, guys, is being behind the scenes, being in the blacked out Escalade after the fight. Rhino wasn't disappointed that he lost. Rhino was disappointed that he let people down. There's a big distinction there. And it's a testament to who he is. And so after the fight, we get in the Escalade with the driver and everything, and the driver is awesome, man. He's such a good dude. Well, we lost my wife. Imagine that, Kelby. And so we found my wife, and we got back, and we were going to go all out and all of us go out and eat. And I sat there, and I couldn't keep my eyes open, and I couldn't talk, and I probably looked pissed off, but I wasn't pissed. I was so exhausted, dude. Like everything flashed before my eyes. Like the whole experience as a whole flashed before my eyes, and I was just exhausted. I've never felt like that, like completely drained. And so my wife and I went home, and I cried a little bit, man. It's an experience like I've never had before. It's brought me friends that I've never had before. And the really cool thing, man, is the following. We videotaped the entire thing. We have a documentary coming out about the whole thing. And the very cool thing is not the recognition. It's not the fight. It's not any of that. It's not the money. It's that my son will be able to watch that when he's older and see that experience that Dad got, and hopefully chase his dreams one day and keep showing up every single day and stacking it brick by frickin' brick every single day until an opportunity presents itself. Because the people that get lucky are the prepared ones. And the people that have been putting in the work behind the scenes without recognition, without anything, those are the people that get the opportunities. They're the ones that get lucky. And it's really cool. It all came to a head. And so one day I hope Ridge is proud of me. I hope Ridge is proud of what his dad has done. And even though on a small scale, hopefully he's elicited change in people's lives. And so that's the coolest thing about this whole thing, man. Rhino getting the recognition he deserves, and my son being able to hopefully be proud of his dad one day. And so again, it wasn't the performance or the outcome that we wanted, but that doesn't matter. It's much bigger than boxing. It's much bigger than any of that. I got to have some of the best friends in my life. I got to meet some of the coolest people, got to have the coolest experience. And hopefully one day that can help somebody, and somebody else can get an opportunity like that. And so I'll leave you guys with this. Keep showing up every single day. Keep stacking the bricks. Keep doing the work behind the scenes that nobody watches and nobody cares about, right? The only time they care is when you get the opportunity. They only care when you get the luck. So keep stacking the bricks every single day until one day it pays off, and then people think you're an overnight success. Let them keep thinking that. Let them eat their pizza, drink their beer, and talk about their high school days while you stack the bricks every single day, physically, mentally, in your career, in your relationship, in your marriage, with God. Keep stacking the bricks, and you'll get lucky. You'll have the opportunity. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with. This was such an amazing experience, and it wouldn't be that amazing of experience without your guys' support. I had hundreds of texts, hundreds of videos, hundreds of thank yous, hundreds of holy crap, your mustache is ugly on national TV. Keep stacking the bricks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything that you do. I love you guys more than you guys will ever know, and the support has been amazing. And so in 2 days, guys, the documentary of behind the scenes of the fight week, Jake Paul, Ryan the Rhino Bourland, comes out on my YouTube channel. Search Coach Wortman on YouTube. And if you can please like and subscribe. You guys have no idea how much one subscriber means and what it does. You can support the big dogs that are making millions of dollars and bringing you a polished product. Or you can support the guys that are trying to get there and trying to chase the dream and trying to give you guys the information you guys need to be the best version of yourselves. The people that are dads, the people that are business owners, small business owners that have people on their payroll depending on them. So we appreciate you guys more than you know. Documentary comes out in 2 days. Coach Wortman on YouTube. I love you all. And this has been another amazing episode where Colby cries on Next Level Radio. Peace.